Well, it's a very soggy start to this Thursday all across the Tennessee Valley. Now, the heavier activity that we saw earlier this morning has since pushed to our south. We're just going to continue to be drenched in light to moderate rainfall over the next couple of hours. And then it looks like we could potentially see a few thunderstorms develop later in the afternoon. But a look right now at our current situation that we've got going on across the area. Like I mentioned, it's really just some light to moderate rainfall. In fact, some areas are dry at the moment, but we're seeing more wet areas than dry areas. But like I said, this activity going to continue to shift southeastward. So we'll start to see a little bit of drier air move into play heading into the lunchtime. Now, over the past 24 hours, we have seen a decent amount of rainfall. Notice Decatur just a little shy of 2 inches of accumulation. And we're going to continue to add to these totals throughout the next couple of hours. Now, like I said, it's a soggy start, and we're going to stay pretty wet throughout much of today. But heading into tomorrow and into the weekend, we've got weather to look forward to. We are going to start to dry out. So the gloominess is not going to be around for much longer. We've just got to get through it for today. Now you can see just exactly where is seeing rain right now all across the southeast because of that rain cooled air. We're sitting only at right around 67 here in Huntsville. Mobile hasn't seen any rain yet, so 86 is the current temperature down south. Now all across the Tennessee Valley, we are starting to warm just a little bit. Florence is already in the low 70s, 68 right now in Russellville, 68 down in Coleman, 68 right now in Athens. Huntsville also seeing 68 degrees, 70 in Scottsboro, Fort Payne, and in Albertville. So temperature is going to continue to climb heading into the afternoon as well. Now, dew points right now, they're a little lower than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, about this time, we were seeing dew points in the low 70s. We're sitting in the upper 60s in most areas. So it's not as humid if you step out the door right now, but the humidity will return heading into the afternoon. And we're going to stay pretty humid really throughout the next 5 days on a Friday. So tomorrow, we're going to be seeing dew points only reach the upper 60s, but heading into the weekend and the early part of next week, dew point's going to rise back into the low 70s, meaning that it's going to be very muggy outside, especially in the afternoon. So for the next 12 hours, we are going to keep rain chances in the forecast. Probably until about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock later this afternoon. And then I'm thinking heading into tonight, that's when we're going to start a drying out process. And by about midnight, temperature is going to be sitting in the low 70s. The high temperature for today only expected to reach the mid and low 80s because of the rainy start. Now for the next 5 days, temperature is going to continue to climb. We're expected to be back in the low 90s tomorrow, and we'll stay in the low 90s for this upcoming weekend. Mid 90s expected on Sunday. But once you factor in the dew point, that humidity out there, our feels like temperature is going to be feeling like the lower 100s heading into the weekend and even into the first half of next week, potentially feeling like 107 degrees by about this time next Tuesday. So we've got some really, really warm air headed our way. Now, any type of rain and thunderstorms that we're expected to see develop later this afternoon could be on the stronger side, but we're not expected to see widespread severe weather. We only have a marginal risk for a few of us across the Tennessee Valley. But what I mean by that is potentially some of these cells that develop later this afternoon could maybe have a little bit of hail and probably a little bit of gusty winds on the lower end of the spectrum heading into the afternoon. So like I mentioned, we're not expected to see widespread severe weather by any means. We will have to continue to watch for a little bit of a flooding risk as well. But heading into later tonight, we're going to start to dry out. And like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be dry heading into the final day of the work week and into the weekend. We're going to be seeing plenty of sunshine heading into tomorrow afternoon, and that's going to stick around for the weekend as well. High temperatures tomorrow all across the board expected to really be warm out there, upper 80s, low 90s, and we'll continue to see partly to mostly sunshine. Now, rain chances disappear heading into tomorrow and into Saturday as well. We've got small opportunities for rain in the forecast next week, so we'll have a relatively dry next 7 days. We've got about a 10 to 20% chance of rain for much of next week, but that's just due to a little bit of developing activity that we could see in the afternoon. We're starting to really get into that summertime pattern here across the Tennessee Valley, meaning that scattered showers and thunderstorms could really just pop up out of nowhere in the afternoon because of the heat and the moisture that we are expected to continue to see. So over the next 7 days, rainfall accumulation, it's really just going to come from the rest of today and potentially that 10% chance of rain that we could see on Sunday and into next week. So really not a whole lot of rain accumulation we're expected to see. So for today, we'll keep rain and a few thunderstorms in the forecast. Definitely want to have your umbrella rain jacket handy. High temperatures only expected to reach around the mid 80s, but temperatures really going to climb heading into the weekend. We have a nice weekend ahead of us despite the heat. High temperature is going to be in the low 90s for Saturday, mid 90s expected for Sunday, but like I showed you earlier, those feels like temperature is going to be in the lower 100s. So it is going to be a nice weekend to spend outdoors. There will be plenty of sunshine, but you definitely want to have on some sunscreen and stay hydrated with water because it is going to be pretty hot out there, and we're going to stay pretty hot heading into next week, getting really close to those upper 90s on Monday and Tuesday of next week. So it doesn't look like the heat's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. We'll keep small opportunities for rain in the forecast starting about Tuesday of next week, and it looks like that'll carry over into about this time next week, where high temperature is going to be sitting right around 96 degrees.